Here's the quickest guide to the Invisible Woman in Marvel Rivals. First thing we need to talk about is her passive. After a few seconds of doing nothing, you'll go invisible and will start to quickly regenerate health. Double jumping from hitting your spacebar twice will instantly activate your passive, turning you invisible and triggering your heal over time. This is your main escape and the main way you can heal yourself. Invisible Woman's primary fire is a boomerang-like projectile that heals any friendlies and damages any enemies it passes through. A single hit does pretty mediocre damage and healing, but getting double hits from the rebound adds up quickly to do a ton of damage and healing. This means that you'll want to position yourself in between multiple friendlies and/or enemies to get as much value out of your primary fire as possible. Her secondary fire is pretty unique. It's a targeted shield that spawns directly in front of your friendly target that blocks up to 300 damage and heals any friendly targets that are standing next to it while it's active. You cannot cast this on yourself, but you will get the heal from it if you're standing next to it. Invisible Woman's shift ability tosses out a bubble that does damage to enemies and sucks them towards the middle of the bubble. You can throw the bubble at the ground, you can throw it at an enemy, or something that's a bit lesser known is that you can toss it up into the air, even above you, triggering it early by pressing shift a second time. This actually can help a ton to deal with vertical heroes. Her E ability changes her primary and secondary fire to deal damage and push enemies away from her, or deal damage and pull enemies towards her. This has a much longer range than you'd think from the animation, so you'll be able to use it from a long range and even on flying heroes too. It's great for knocking people off of edges and can be cancelled without using the cooldown by pressing E again. Invisible Woman's ultimate is a giant field that makes everyone inside of it invisible, does a ton of healing to allies, and slows any enemies that pass through it. Now, her melee ability actually slaps. It's a 3-move combo that does some respectable damage, and on the third hit does a pretty good knockback to the target. Her team-up ability doesn't really do anything for her, but it does give the other Fantastic Four heroes bonus health. And finally, here's some simple tips to get you started. Your main offensive combo is to go invisible and wait until double jump is off cooldown. Drop your shift bubble on the closest enemy, then press E and secondary fire to suck enemies into your bubble. Make sure you're lined up to hit as many enemies as possible with your primary fire and just watch the damage rack up. This can actually do a ton of damage if done properly. And if you get into trouble, just double jump out. Outside of being offensive, you'll be shielding anyone that's taking damage, making sure to line up to heal and damage as many targets as possible. And when you're dropping your ult, try to suck any enemies into it and be as offensive as possible while your ult is up, because you're going to be insanely hard to kill. And that's pretty much it. Check out the Patreon if you want to support our guides, links in the description.